I would rather maintain my position and have to move more slowly than give up a bunch and give people leverage.
We had a client, it was a $150,000 contract. So we look up one day and they're like, hey, we're going bankrupt. I don't know if we're gonna be able to pay you now or like maybe ever. When things happen and it's like relationships and you're just like, probably my defense of these two, when people do stuff that you're just like, are you kidding? Like, yeah, I'll get down there in the swamp. But our clients, we had a client that it was a $150,000 contract. We had completed like 80% of the work. And they were like, hey, and we had just been really flexible. They hadn't been paying, but they said they needed a little more time. Okay, sounds good. We kept doing the work. And we look up one day and they're like, hey, we're going bankrupt. I don't know if we're gonna be able to pay you now or like maybe ever. And we definitely had people on our team that were like, hell no, they signed a contract and we have completed a bunch of work, time and money out of our pocket. Not only are we not getting money, we're in the red on this. But Leif and Jocko were like, yeah, we're not gonna hold their feet to the fire. We have a contract, it is what it is. We took the highest ground. We maintained a very good relationship with them. And it took 2 years and they paid us back. And we got the last check and Dave called. He's like, guess what we just got? And he's like, the last check. It took 2 years. And we maintained a relationship with that client. We can directly attribute other business we've gotten from them and the reputation and relationship we maintained with them. But we knew we weren't the only ones looking for money. And so we were like, well, I guess we're just gonna maintain a relationship. We'll see what happens. And they paid every penny of that contract.
So taking the high ground is, to me, sort of the ultimate form of maintaining leverage and making sure that you don't let people get in a position where they can hold something over you. And like I said, I'm very paranoid about giving people leverage. And I kind of alluded this earlier today, like I'll take risks that are going to be isolated risks to an isolated part of my world that aren't going to jeopardize other parts of my world, which I think is important. And the other thing is like protecting what you've got on that Maslow's hierarchy, right? Like making sure that you've got the base needs covered so that they don't interfere with your decision-making process. That you see people all the time, they start making money, they're living on $50,000 a year. They start making $100,000 a year and they start living like they're making $150,000 a year. They start making $150,000 a year, they start living like they're living $300,000 a year. And it keeps going, which is crazy to me. That's like crazy to me. No, we don't do that. And the same thing with businesses. Like, how much leverage are you going to give? We're going to take out a loan and take out debt to do something. Okay, we can take out some, but I would rather maintain my position and have to move more slowly than give up a bunch and give people leverage. And now I can move quickly, but I'm moving quickly with part of the course of action that I have is hope. I don't want to have to hope for anything. I don't put that, that's not my jam. Hope is not my thing.
It was a couple musters ago, and of all the events we had run, we had never received a worse than expected. Everything was,
On the feedback from the client survey.
On the feedback, yes, from the attendees. And we get this feedback survey, and there's one little mark on the worse than expected. And our instinct as humans, we're gonna get defensive and I remember calling Leif, I'm like, this guy put worse than expected. I'm reading his comments. Okay, maybe we'll give him a partial refund, which I don't have to do. Like, he just put this feedback survey. And Leif was like, why would we just do a partial refund, Jamie? Like, partial ownership. And I was like, okay, fine. So reluctantly, I email this guy and I'm like, hey, listen, our intent for these events is that it drives an impact in every attendee that comes and participates. And if that didn't happen for you, we failed. We failed at what we teach, which is extreme ownership and taking ownership for every single problem. And I took ownership of it. And I said, as a result, we have refunded you in full. You will see that hit your account in 2 days. And it was a couple days later and he emailed and he's like, well, I think I now understand what you meant by ownership. And what I can take ownership of is not setting the right expectations going into this event. And he goes in and he takes ownership and he says, as a result, I have, and he followed the same kind of cadence of my email. As a result, I have taken the money you've refunded and I've donated it to America's Mightiest Warriors in your name.